Hello everyone, welcome back to another Commander review for Magic the Gathering. Today we are in the Time Spiral Time Shifted set. This is a set all about reprints, and so all of these commanders I have done an initial primer video at least once prior to this. So I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty of Nicol Bolas. I'm not going to talk about its mana value. I'm not going to get into the rules text too much. I've already covered that in a previous video, so you can check that out. However, I will talk about some of the new deck ideas that you could build around for this commander. So first, an update. No card rule changes. Everything is the same for this card. So nothing's been updated as of yet. As far as two new deck ideas for this commander, this was one that I saw on EDH Rec, and I think its main purpose is just to help ramp as much as possible, because Nicol Bolas is very expensive and you have to pay that 3 mana every upkeep. And so Treasure Tribal essentially is the archetype you can build around to constantly ramp you, so you can keep playing your big powerful stuff while also maintaining the mana needed to keep Nicol Bolas in place. You can continuously discard your opponent's hands over and over again. And there is some really fun treasure synergies in red and black and in red and blue. So having them all brought together is really, really awesome. And then lastly, as a weird, janky build-around deck idea, so far it looks like a lot of this is going to be in blue and black. But this is a kind of a Voltron deck where you want to focus on dealing that combat damage with Nicol Bolas. And not that it's perfect by any means, but a fun deck build around that you could do is bring Nicol Bolas, the big bad of Magic the Gathering, into the world of Lord of the Rings and make it the big bad guy of Lord of the Rings. So a lot of the Ring Tempts You cards. This is all about getting Nicol Bolas to be your ring bearer and then upgrading your ring temptation level to max so you can get all of those benefits whenever Nicol Bolas attacks, because it is a damage-based trigger to discard your opponent's hands. So we are going to have to attack anyway. So let's get extra advantage by destroying creatures that do block Nicol Bolas, making it harder for giant hydras and giant monsters to block Nicol Bolas, and forcing our opponents to block with their chump blockers, essentially. And then, of course, there's some fun like synergies because Nicol Bolas is legendary. So Ring Sight is great because it does tempt you with the ring, but it also lets you tutor anything from your deck, essentially, because Nicol Bolas is your commander. So really cool stuff there. Not a whole lot of support, but you are in 3 colors, so there's a lot of variety to build around with this deck. And that's going to do it for Nicol Bolas, the big bad. Has got tons of different deck ideas to build around, so don't worry if there's not a deck idea for you out there, because there are a ton to build around. And I'd love to hear your guys' comments down below of anything I missed or I didn't talk about as far as deck ideas or card synergies. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to go check out the previous video for Nicol Bolas, I go in way more depth about deck ideas and card concepts for that card. But this is just a brief revisit to one of Magic's most iconic characters. So thank you again, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!